Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, celebrating the holy month of Ramadan. We are delighted to be joined over the telephone by His Excellency Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. It's a very good afternoon to you, Mr. Ambassador.
It's my pleasure. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Ambassador. Now, of course, the holy month of Ramadan has a very unique flavor in Egypt, but also abroad. And with Your Excellency's travels all over the world as an ambassador, could you tell us a bit about some of the most memorable countries you visited and spent Ramadan in?
In my 40 years in the diplomacy, I spent 16 Ramadan outside Egypt.
All right, that's impressive.
And it is a nice variety. Once I was in Germany, that was in August 82, where the breakfast is at 10 o'clock at night.
Very late
so
indeed.
we were fasting something like 19 hours.
Yes.
And the prayer for Al-Isha is at midnight. And we asked Al-Azhar Al-Sharif how we can do. There are two fatwas, there are two opinions there. Either you breakfast with an Islamic country which you share the same night. Here it comes when we are in Germany, we can share the same timing of Algeria or Tunisia, and it allows us to breakfast at 6 o'clock, and that's reasonable. Another fatwa, another opinion, they ask you to start at your time in Germany and to fast as long as a Muslim in Mecca is fasting.
Fasting, right.
That was by that time 15 hours. This makes us breakfast at 4 o'clock. I was by that time with my younger daughter, and it was 4 o'clock. I cannot eat while the sun is rising. And we asked ourselves, are we hungry? No. So thank God we spent the 4 years breakfasting at 10 o'clock at night. That was wonderful. But the compensation came later on. In 2004, I was in a visit to Stockholm, Sweden.
Yes, and there's pictures of you as well, Mr. Ambassador, if you have your television on. If you could tell us a bit about the photos that we're showing.
Yes. Here, this is a breakfast in our house for our family, but that was when Ramadan came in February. And as you see, we are celebrating my birthday also.
Yes, indeed.
Let me give this piece of information. In Sweden in 2004,
yes,
we have suhoor at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we fast up till 4 o'clock only.
So that was easy. That was like having breakfast then lunch.
Exactly. That was the shortest breakfast I have, fasting I have ever had. And by that time, really, I must say that the Swedish government was so nice, because they have lunch at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we were 2 Muslims in the whole conference. They made another table for us at 4 o'clock. That was really something very, very considerate from
Indeed.
Their part.
Indeed. Mr. Ambassador, let me ask you, sir, with the Egyptian citizens that live abroad, do they have certain, practices? Do they carry on with the Ramadan traditions that happen in Egypt? Do they cook the same foods, sweets, etc. abroad from your time outside of Egypt?
As a matter of fact, we take our habits with us everywhere. And also we enjoy other habits, such as the Muslim community in Brazil. They say that there are Lebanese origin people in Brazil, much more in number than the Lebanese in Lebanon. It's a huge community in Brazil, whether the Lebanese or the Syrians, and they have the best and the most high clubs in Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo. And there we were really joining this community. The touch of Egypt came with sending envoys to recitate the Quran. Sheikh al-Husari came to us in Brazil And here, really, I must say that I was enjoying listening to Quran outside Egypt much more we do in Egypt. Because it is every day we take Al-Husari with us, whether we are invited or inviting. And I realized when I invite him to recite Quran in São Paulo, we have a huge mosque there. You don't have any place for another prayer. Many people were there, and it was really quite crowded. But the other thing I realized that everybody came with a small radio in order to record what the Sheikh was recitating. Why? That was really astonishing. That was the first time for the Muslims in Brazil to listen to somebody reciting Quran directly, not from a tape or from a record.
Yes, a live recitation.
A live reciting. This is really amazing. And as you see in the picture, I was inviting Arab ambassadors. Here you have the Saudi, the Libyan, the Moroccan, the Tunisian, to have breakfast with us. And then we start to pray Al-Isha, then we start to pray later on. And here is the Sheikh from Al-Azhar is teaching us the details of our religion. That was really wonderful.
Absolutely.
And we were practicing this every day, whether in our house, if we are inviting people, or if we are invited, they ask us to come with our Sheikh. That was the touch of Egypt everywhere when we go here and there.
Indeed, indeed. Mr. Ambassador, let me ask you about other Arab countries that you've served in. Are they similar? Do they celebrate Ramadan in a similar way as Egypt does, or do Arab countries have different, traditions than ours?
There is always the national touch of every country.
Yes.
But I see really, and I'm proud of it, that the Egypt's impact is quite clear everywhere. Because also some Arab countries, many Islamic countries, like the way we are reading Quran. And this is also something we owe to our Al-Azhar Al-Sharif, because they send their envoys everywhere in the Islamic world, not only the Arab world. This is very good. But of course, if you are in the Lebanon, the Lebanese food is very diversified. You have many type of food which is not typically Egyptian. In Damascus, my goodness, the food in Syria is something, and so on. In Morocco, of course, they have the Moroccan kitchen, which is very delicious and have its own particularity.
And
here in the picture, here we were praying the Bayram of Ramadan, and as you see that always the Egyptian ambassador is in the first row with the Sheikh from Egypt and with one candidate of the presidency was on my left. But here the touch of Egypt is everywhere, and of course the television is transferring this to the audience in the same time.
Indeed. Mr. Ambassador, I wanted to ask you, do you see Ramadan still the same flavors as it had over the years? How has it changed if you were compare from a few years back and from all the way back to your childhood?
Of course, you know that life is becoming much faster. And now we are in the time of the television, on the time of the internet, and our young generation is a little bit different. But we want to make them realize their origin, because it makes them belong to their country, belong to their religion, of course. And the good thing that we are, of course, belonging to all the religions. We believe in God, all His messengers, all His religions, and you cannot. I said this in Stockholm, by the way, for Anna Linda, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, that I do not see any problem while discussing or making a dialogue with other religions, because I am the Muslim, I am the Christian, I am the Jew, and Moses was Egyptian. Jesus Christ came to Egypt, and his journey in Egypt is quite clear. So really, you have, if you discuss the matter with other cultures like that, they appreciate very much.
Absolutely.
Here we are in a school for Muslims, and our sheikhs are there. I am in the middle with the ambassador of Libya, Hamdi Fannoush. Nice memories.
What country was this, Mr. Ambassador? Which country were you in? Which country is
Cameroon also. That was in Cameroon.
All right. Absolutely. It sounds all very fascinating. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Your Excellency, Ambassador Gamal Bayoumi, the former Assistant Foreign Minister. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And of course, sharing all your memories about all your Ramadans away